other lives. And eventually I will be going downstairs to eat. I'll most likely bring the food back up. So today's topic is a little more of a topic that I just wanted to record myself talking about because, first of all, if I can show my players that I do actually really want to work and show them that I do kind of have a way that I work. So I am a person who just graduated high school, as some of you know, because you probably saw the fact that I performed my last national anthem with my choir. I had a few photos of me with my cap and gown on for the last time. I still have my cap and my tassel, but we had to return our gowns, which was, in my opinion, stupid. But anyways, that's not the topic today. Don't mind me doing something else while I'm talking. It's just easier for me to talk while I'm doing something. It's just a really bad habit that I have, but it can also be good in retail or like if I'm showing a product to somebody, which actually I'm going to be doing on Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, which is very exciting. You see, I get off topic a lot, so, when it comes to the workspace for neurodivergence, which isn't just autism or ADHD, it's even people with anxiety, depression, PTSD, and stuff like that. So it's not just autism or ADHD, but that's what it's been used for a lot nowadays. And I want to say it's not just autism or ADHD that has the neurodivergent label on them. And now people can choose to use this label or not if they have like PTSD or something like that, but a lot of neurodivergents sometimes have conditions that play into how they work or how they speak or how their lives are. My adventure in neurodivergency started when I was really young, and I never really understood it back then. I didn't know what neurodivergence was. I didn't know why people were calling me special or special needs. I didn't understand all this testing and all these visits to these special doctors. I was scared. I was confused and very just unaware of my situation back then. I'm not medically diagnosed as autistic. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually very hard to go through the work of getting medically diagnosed, which being medically diagnosed for me would help a lot in my life because of how dependent I am. So I'm not really low needs support or high needs support autistic. I'm just kind of in the middle. I'm good at talking, I'm good at caring for myself, but here's where the underlying comes in. I'm good at taking care of myself if I have somebody reminding me. Hey, food's ready. Oh, okay, I'll come and eat. Oh, I'm not hungry right now. I'll come and eat later. And here's some of my problems. And this is somewhat thanks to school, rely on reminders to do things. Like cleaning the bathroom, cleaning my station that I work at, cleaning the dishes or cleaning up a mess that I made earlier in the day that I forgot about. I have a very good memory, but a very bad memory at the same time. Like, if you asked me what happened yesterday, I wouldn't remember. I don't remember yesterday that well, and yet I remember all this nonsense about Final Fantasy and Legend of Zelda, and how I got into dragon puppets. It's all over the place. And it's not that I have a picky memory or I'm just picking up the little pieces, it's just that's how it is. And I don't know why. I don't like forgetting simple things like forgetting to feed the cow, or forgetting to feed the fish, or forgetting to eat. Which I have done. I have forgotten to eat lunch, or forgotten how to eat dinner. Like, they're like, oh, you didn't realize that it was dinner time? Oh, well, that's your own fault. I mean, kinda. It is, but it's really not, because it's like, if I'm doing something, I will forget sometimes, especially if I'm like really focused on it and like really working like a lot on it. That means you're gonna have to remind me, hey, take your lunch break, or hey, you've been working for a while, why don't you take a small break? And um, even my parents have to say, hey, take a break before you overwork yourself and burn yourself out, which I burned myself out anyways, which I have learned to never ever do again because burnout sucks. I know, a child complaining about burnout. How does a child get burnout? By doing too much of their own art, by doing what they love, because they're stressing themselves out too much. And it can be really hard to do what I do and remember to do certain things. I have alarms to feed my pets. I have alarms to go down and check on stuff. I have alarms to wake up. I mean, who doesn't have an alarm to wake up? Everybody needs an alarm to wake up. If you wake up on your own, good for you. That means your brain's getting plenty of sleep and your body likes how much sleep you're getting. That's great. Mine doesn't. Mine wants like 12 hours, and it's like, I can't do that because, for obvious reasons, 12 hours isn't really healthy. And the thing is that when it comes to how I work better on a schedule than when I'm not on a schedule. See, I have been off of a schedule since May, May 23rd, and I have already forgotten what day of the week it is. I've already forgotten what month it is. I go back and look at the calendar and I go, it's June already? And sometimes I'll go like, oh, it's Sunday. No, it's Friday. It's Friday? And I'll look at my phone and go like, oh, it is Friday. So I'm already getting messed up with the days of the week and the time of the month. And just time in particular, because I am a person who hugely relies on a schedule or something else there to remind me. Because, let's see, how does school go? By the time I reached middle school, I had a schedule for all 7 classes. First period, second period, third period, lunch, fifth periods. You get the point because most of you went through school. And you get set on a schedule. You have certain times you have to wake up, certain times you have to be places. This is when you can eat lunch. This is when you can take a bathroom break. And my mind has gotten used to that because I am a very schedule reliant person, unfortunately. And, well, not unfortunately, because you'll have a schedule for basically almost the rest of your life once you get into the workforce and once you're working and getting paid to do your job. You'll have a schedule, some type of schedule that helps you stay organized. Now, some people would rather not have schedules in their lives, but I definitely need one because I am just so reliant on it. Now, the other problem for me is that I also kind of rely on somebody else to remind me. Because here's the thing, I'm bad at remembering the fact that I have doctor's appointments. I'm bad at remembering I have certain things going on that day. Now, I've been slowly but surely accommodating this myself by using the calendar app, by using the alarm clock app. In fact, I remembered completely on my own that I had graduation practice, and I was very proud of myself for setting that alarm in before the event happened, like being proactive. Thank you, brain. And it's like I have this structure, but now that structure is being taken away from me for a little bit because I'm not in school anymore, at least for now. I do plan eventually going back to school and getting a degree in nursing, which will be amazing. I've always had a huge passion in helping others. Um, and as you can tell, I'm pretty chatty. I relate to a lot of other people, at least I try to relate to them or understand what they're going through because I have a really open mind. And I do mean really open mind because that last puppet right there is a LGBTQ puppet, so I'm very open-minded to others and how they feel. Yeah, see, this used to be a very bad habit. I didn't used to drink a lot of water. So it's like special cups help me drink water, special things help me remember to do things. And when it comes to getting into the workforce, it's a little scary because I have seen stories from other disabled people, whether that be a mental disability or an actual disability, get literally told no because of their disability and because of what disability they have. Now, technically that is a crime. Technically that is illegal under the ADA. So we have a policy here in America that anybody can work no matter what. For now. We're not going to get into that for now part for now because reasons. I don't do a lot of political stuff, so I'm not going to get into that. But the thing with neurodivergent workers is some of them cannot work because they just can't. Some of them just cannot work anymore. And it's unfortunate. For me, I want to work. I want to have a schedule. I want to go out and help people. In fact, I technically, these, you know what these are, work right now. So the work I do is art, and I have only done one commission so far. So it's not like I have a very schedule with this work that I do, because it's relying off of commissions and other people, and relying on the fact that the internet is going to get me to people who want to buy these commissions from me. And that's really hard to do, so, which is why it's just a hobby or a side gig. Because my main work when I get there will be nursing, taking care of patients. And that's honestly what I want to do. But here's where my disability, because it is a disability, can get in the way. As you can tell, I'm wearing headphones. So I technically don't need to wear these right now because I'm not in a loud environment, but I don't do well in loud environments. Now, I am slowly but surely readjusting myself to that and going to louder places without my headphones for a certain amount of time to try and adjust to not having headphones on all the time. I also don't like it being very quiet, so I actually don't like the fact that the room's super silent, but my voice is filling in that silence. And a lot of the things that also get on my nerves is that I get overstimulated really easily, but on other days, I will actually not get overstimulated easily. And on other days, I'll be low energy super quickly, or other days, I'll be super frustrated with myself. Like, my mood's all over the place. That sounds pretty normal, though. I'm just a girl. But that has nothing to do with part of it, because I'm. It doesn't have to do with that, because a lot of neurodivergents, a percentage of neurodivergents, no matter their gender, deal with mental and emotional stimulation that affects them. Like certain days, I'll just completely freeze at a task. Like I won't be able to do it, and that's called paralysis. Now, paralysis is like trying to, this is just an example, put your hand on the stove burner, like trying to burn your hand, but your brain's not letting you do it. That's exactly how paralysis feels. Like, I want to clean my room, but my brain just won't let me, because every time I go in there, I get overwhelmed, I get overstimulated, and I break down. Because I see it as one huge problem. Now, my room is a complete mess, and like every time I try to do it, I just break down. No matter how much I want to clean my room, it's hard for me to do it. And it sucks because it's like, why can't I do it when somebody like my parent can do it easier than me? But that's the thing. One of my parents happened to be neurotypical, so they don't have the struggles that I have, showing just how different neurotypicals and neurodivergents are. My mom, my parent, my guardian, she sees a lot more in when it comes to cleaning the kitchen than I do. I see it through different lenses. We both have different perceptions of what clean is. We both have different perspectives, and I love to hear her perspective actually. It helps me understand neurotypicals better. And I've always had a huge problem with perspective ever since I was young, because I sucked at understanding perspective. I still do. But I'm trying to understand it more and more as the years go by, so that way I can understand better from what's coming from somebody else's perspective than my perspective. Because you've got my perspective being, oh, the water bottles are done, the dishes are done, the dishwasher's done, so the kitchen is clean. Then you've got my mom's perspective. The counters still need cleaned. The stovetop needs to be wiped down. These floors are dirty. How is this cleaned? So there's two different perspectives here. So there's two different ways of seeing it. And then you have the fact that I could look at the kitchen and there being dishes everywhere in the sink, and I go like, I freeze. I literally freeze and I go, nope. That's paralysis. that's the point of this is so overstimulating for me or overwhelming for me that I can't do it. And another problem with that is, what if I'm walking into a surgeon room when they need something for the patient and I see all this going on and I freeze? You can't freeze as a nurse. You've got to act fast as a nurse, which is part of the reason why I will never be an ER nurse, because I know the emergency room will be too overstimulating and too overwhelming for me, which is why I do not want to be an ER nurse, because it gets crazy and hectic and just really all over the place, and I can't handle that. I can't handle the noise, I can't handle the crowds, I can't handle the people. In fact, I'm getting better with crowds, but I'm also very claustrophobic, which is also another downside of somebody who has like autism, because everybody has a different spectrum of how much sensory input they can handle. I can handle light noise, but I can't handle silence. I can handle lunchroom noise, but I can't handle concerts. I can handle hallway noise, and I won't be able to handle lunchroom noise. I can handle lunchroom noise, but not yelling. I can handle music at very loud volumes, but I can't go to a concert. I can handle the sound of fireworks from very far away, but I can't handle the sound of fireworks right when I'm close to them. I can handle concerts if I'm sitting down far away from the band, but I can't handle concerts right up front next to the band like I used to be able to. So just to give you a perspective of how wide my overstimulation can be and my sensory input is, it's all over the place. I can handle most colors, but the sight of hot pink makes me go, ugh. I can handle the sight of lime green on most things, but on cars, ugh. I can handle a movie about World War II, but I can't handle Cinderella Man. Where does this come from? And it's so complicated. It's like, so what am I gonna be able to handle as a nurse? Will I be able to handle blood? Yes, actually. The only reason why I know this is because one of my siblings, not gonna say how many I have, had a nosebleed. Like a very bad nosebleed, to the point you need to go to the ER nosebleed. And there was blood all over the bathroom, and I walked in there like, I just kind of turned on the hot water to, prevent bloodborne illnesses, such as tuberculosis and other bloodborne illnesses. I just saw that person leave. They were like, ew, this is getting too gross. But that's how nursing life is. Like, I can talk about dislocations and other things that a normal person wouldn't talk about to somebody who doesn't even know what this is, because I've had 2 dislocations, fun fact. Not so fun, actually. But it's like, I can talk about all of this medical stuff without getting grossed out, and then somebody who's normal can get grossed out at the same thing that I'm not getting grossed out at. Some nurses pass out due to the sight of blood. Some nurses go like, man, this is normal daily basis things. Some people can handle seeing dead bodies while others can't. I know, I said the D word, oh no. But it's something that a lot of people, it's like everybody has a spectrum of awareness and sensory input that they're not very aware about. Like, oh, that one light that you go to, that's the fact that you're getting too much sensory input on your eyes. Oh, the fact that you plug your ears when that one motorcycle goes by on the road. That's too much hearing input. Oh, that time that the salad felt weird on your tongue. That's sensory input that you don't like. It's overstimulating. Everybody has overstimulation at one point in time, and that's one thing that I'm worried about going into the workforce, is that how am I going to be able to handle that overstimulation? How am I going to handle the fact that I have such a limited social battery that I can only hang around my cousins and aunts for about an hour without getting annoyed at them and going like, okay, I need to get out. Or the fact that I can only hang in the lunchroom filled with at least more than 700 people at a time, and I get my lunch and I zoop. And hospitals get very, very, very busy. Now, of course, nursing isn't going to be my first job. In fact, I've already had my first job. I'm not going to say where, but it was a subs place, and I can no longer eat their subs, unfortunately. Just because I can't handle them. They taste weird to me now. But it's like, how am I going to do in the workforce when I come up against my complications, and what accommodations can I get for how I receive things? Can I have one earbud in? Am I allowed to have an alarm for my lunch break? Am I allowed to take breaks when needed? So it's a lot of, am I allowed to do this? Am I not allowed to do that? It's a lot of questions with not a lot of answers. And in the nursing field, a lot of them are going to be no. I will probably have to ask for the accommodations of, hey, can I do notes on the computer, which most doctors do notes on the computer anyways, so I probably won't have a problem with that. I'll see if they can do a text-to-speech thing, because I'm not very good at understanding certain things. I've already read, some of the student handbook for nurses. Don't ask how I got my hands on one. You can find them on Amazon. They're not very cheap, though. But it's very exciting to be able to finally go and join the workforce, but it's like, how many accommodations can they give me as someone who's neurodivergent? So that's kind of my whole spiel about that. But yeah, a lot of people can look at me and go, you're normal. I'm really not. I'm really not. A lot of people can go look at me and go, oh, you're neurodivergent. And some people can look at me and go, ha ha. A lot of people have done that in my life. But the point is that it's not easy being neurodivergent. It's not necessarily easy being neurotypical either. Because either way, we gotta worry about salary, housing, and all of this. And, there's a lot of skepticism and fear out there. So our world is getting more and more crazy and overwhelming as the days go by. But the good thing is, I eventually will know the answer to most of these questions that I'm asking today when I'm older, and I'll be able to go, I'm glad I asked those questions. Because it's important to me that other people see that that there are people that are different, but also relate to the problems that they're having. Because, I'm not the only one dealing with inflation. I'm not the only one dealing with taxes. I'm not the only one dealing with the fact that there's a lot of skepticism and fear out there, and it's a lot of hard work. And getting a job nowadays has shown to be harder than getting a job back when my parents got their jobs. And it's a sad reality that it's harder for someone like me who wants to get a job, that it's harder for me to get a job because of all of these things that I've got. Because it is harder working with somebody who is neurodivergent because we have accommodations that we need, unfortunately. I mean, some of us don't even need accommodations, but that doesn't disregard the fact that we're neurodivergent. That just shows that we probably persevered and found many coping skills to the point where we don't need these accommodations anymore. And I mean, sure, that's what I hope to do someday, where I can finally, live without somebody having to always be there for me, without having to have alarms. Well, besides my wake-up call, because everybody needs a wake-up call. And just being able to be, I don't know, kind of normal while also still being myself. Because, don't get me wrong, I don't want a mask. I do not want to go behind a hiding mask. I do not want to go back to being what I was when I was younger. Because I was not myself when I was younger. I was out of control emotionally, and I still kind of am, but I have a lot more control over my emotions nowadays. But it's just like there are multiple things that I need that somebody that's neurotypical doesn't need. Because we're all different, though. We're all completely different. None of us think alike. Doesn't matter if you're neurotypical or neurodivergent. We all think differently. We all see the world through different lenses and perspectives. And it's important to me that people kind of start being open to that, because it's hard to accept the fact that people see differently, because we all do, and that won't ever change about the world. We all will be different. So we need to stop fearing different people. We need to stop fearing communities that have been around forever. We need to stop fearing the unknown and learning about the unknown instead. Learn more about what you fear, and then you won't fear it anymore. It's not all about being, oh no. It's about, oh, okay, let me learn more about this. Because that's how we should go about things. We shouldn't be afraid of our fellow human beings. Because, oh, they're neurodivergent. Oh, they're black. Oh, they're a person of color. Oh, they're native. Oh, they didn't come from here. Oh, they're queer. Oh, they're a furry. Oh, this and that. Don't be afraid of it. Learn about it. Even the bad history part of it. Because everyone has a bad history. Every single country has a bad history. Every race, every hobby can have bad histories. And it's like, we don't need to fear it. we don't need to be afraid of it. Because we learn new things every day, and we can still learn new things every day. People are getting closed-minded, and we don't need that in our society. And I know some people are going to come back at me going like, oh, why are you so open-minded and stuff? I've always been a huge open-minded person. How can I not be? I was taught to be open-minded. But we cannot fear each other. Fear will drive us apart. And we cannot let that happen again. We cannot be separate things. No matter colored, white, queer, straight, neurodivergent, or neurotypical, we all need to somehow find that community in each other again. Because it shouldn't matter what our labels are. And that's how I feel. It shouldn't matter what we're about or anything. We should all try to be friendly with each other and learn more about each other instead of fearing each other. And happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of you men out there need to go and open up to some therapist. Don't worry, it took a lot of people to open up. I get it. Happy Pride to those who are queer. And happy here soon, 4th of July. And do remember, every month has something you never know about. Bye, lives. And thank you for watching, if you watched. So I'm gonna wrap this up, probably go get some food. And I hope you all, take this with an open mind. Bye-bye.